money must be always flowing somewhere. It's a bit like the seawater, it's always kind of going somewhere. If it's not here, it's down in South Africa, it's back again here. So where do you think the future money will be going? And where do you think, and how do you think we can actually protect what we make and also multiply it?
Great, good. Well, what a great topic to talk about, yeah? Talk about
we have
money.
6 hours.
So look, this is a really important topic, and I believe that the educational system and the government and how we are controlled and what we're told to do from a very young age is designed in such a way to keep people broke and to keep people in the system. And we are brainwashed the moment we're born to work hard, and we're not told to work smart. And people do not have the right mindset around money. I know for sure I certainly didn't many years ago. You just work hard. The more you make, the more you spend. And people have this mentality of working really hard to save up to go and buy something. Like, we've got to do extra hours because we've got to save up for the holiday. We've got to do extra hours because we want to go and get a nice car and we want to look rich, but actually we're not rich, but we better save that money. We got to go and save a big deposit and go and get the biggest house we can so we can at least feel good. And that is completely the wrong way to look at it. Yes, work hard, but what you're better off doing is turning your passion into profit, having a good job or having a good career. But what's really important is to become an investor. And actually the money you're making in your job, even if it's not a lot of money, because that's the path you took and maybe that's what your mum and dad wanted you to do and that's just where you've ended up. And even if you're not making a lot of money, or if you've got a fantastic business and you've got a brilliant job, the most important thing, Diari, is to invest and take as much of the money that you're making and deploy it into assets and have the assets making you income. And it's the income from the assets that you then go and upgrade the car. It's the income from the assets that pays for the holiday. It's the income from the assets that pays for the private schooling fees. It's not the income from a job or business. This is what we call earned money. And hey, I earn money, you earn money. You're a world-class dentist. I'm a property investor. I'm a business owner. I turn my passion into profit. So I love working to earn, but this is earned money. What we really want to do is turn our earned money into investment income where we're investing into the market. But there's no education around this. And that's because government, Big Brother, whatever you want to do, the banks, they don't want you to know this stuff.
No. And people who try to educate themselves with the best intentions in the world, they sometimes also get confused because some of the education out there, I mean, you talked about a crypto courses or something in some past podcasts we talked about. And I've been through a couple and they just confuse me even more. So again, the education is very important, who you get it from. And seeing these people have done this before you, they've done it, and they haven't done it like 25 years ago, and so old information. They've done it recently, and they are still doing it, and they teach you, and they're actually even better when they do it in front of you. And I think, I'm talking about recently. I joined your investment academy, and I think by far it's one of the best. I've been to probably 5 in my life, and this is by far one of the best. Because everything is so now, we actually, even the teaching kind of goes with the economies and that's what we want. I always say when they show you charts, I always say, don't show me to the left of the chart. Show me what's to the right, which nobody can show you obviously because that hasn't happened yet. But I like this environment of this new academy. So could you tell me a little bit more?
Yeah. So what's important is to really understand that you as a person can become an investor but you're going to need, again, to get in the right environment, and it's you've got to put yourself into a position where you want to make the money. You know, some people just don't have a drive to be successful, but I think most people tuning into this, they do want to change their life. They want to build a future. And what's really important is not to go for that fast cash. I always went for the fast cash. How do I double my money? Yeah. And I got caught out, and I bought stuff I shouldn't bought, and I got scammed, and I've had my fair share of losing money and investing into the wrong schemes and investing into the wrong people. One of the best things that anyone can do for themselves and their future and their family is figure out how to become your own fund manager. What can you do to manage your own money? You don't need the banks. The banks are the biggest crooks in the world. Absolutely. And the moment you give your money to the bank, they literally take it. They don't ever have to give that back to you. They don't. There was a bank in Japan just recently. They just sent a letter out. We're shutting the bank. We're going out of business, and no one's getting their money. No one got their money back. And in the UK, under FCA rules and regulations, you are protected to 85,000, but that's per banking group. So you've got to be careful. Some people have got their money in 5 or 6 different banks, but they're all part of the same group. Yeah. They think they're protected across 5 accounts, but they're only protected maybe on 1 or 2 of those. So what do the banks do? The banks reel you in. Come and invest with us. Get a wealth manager. We're going to make retirement easy for you. And the banks, the greatest fund managers in the world, you know, at best will make you 5, 6, 7, 8% per year. If so. And then they take out their fees, which can be 1 or 2% of your total pot. Well, that might equate to 30 or 40% of your profit. Tony Robbins said in one of his money books that if you use a financial advisor or you're using a wealth manager at a bank, you will delay your retirement by 15 years. So the number one rule is don't trust the banks. You don't need an IFA for investing your money. You don't need a Barclays wealth manager to build you a portfolio. And what you need to do is you need to make a decision that you are going to manage your own money, become your own fund manager, and then go and find the right mentors that have the right strategies, which is not about, hey, you know, picking these meme coins. Like I don't invest into meme coins. I don't do altcoins. I do like crypto, but I just like Bitcoin. And I'm not giving any financial advice here, but I do like to invest into Bitcoin. I invest using my pension. I invest using my company money, invest using personal money, but that's a long-term play for me. I think it's a strong investment. So that's one area that people can explore. And I call it the wealth pyramid, you know, moving up the levels. And you've got really successful people that are, say, level 5 abundance, which is making over £1 million per year profit, but that's coming from a job or business. What happens if they get sick? What happens if AI comes? What happens if the laws change in the business? I, myself including, you can go from hero to zero literally overnight. And just because you're earning great money, that doesn't mean you're going to become wealthy, because there will come a point where you get sick or you get older, you get tired. So yeah, I can't stress it enough, TR. It's really important to master investing. Hey, I've only really been doing this for the last, 10 years ago, decided to get into property and build a property portfolio. And that was a smart thing to do. But I wouldn't say then I was my own fund manager. It's only been the last few years that I've really developed this desire and urgency to manage my own money and make my own decisions.
Now, that's a very, very great point. And I learned a few things when I came to this academy, the Investors Academy. I used to dabble into stocks and shares and things like that. But this whole idea, this whole notion of being your own fund manager, I think that's great, because it can be scary for some people. They might think that you have to sit some exams and some things, and how can I be my own fund manager? Well, I think it's one of the greatest ways to manage your own money, just to have a bit of education know yourself. Where's your risk level? And I give you an example of that. For instance, ISA. We've heard all these years, invest in ISA, put in ISA. But then a lot of people, what they do, they dump their money into an ISA account, leave it to the bank. And like you said, the bank do whatever they want to do with the thing. And they say you can lose your money as much as you win. And if they lose it, then they lose it. And they say, well, we told you so. When you are your own fund manager, I just find it more fun. I mean, this year I invested into my own ISA, and this is the most fun year I had. I still new because it's April. We just did it, but I am in charge.
Great, good.
And I can't blame anybody but myself if anything go wrong. But nothing should go wrong if I follow the advice and the how-tos. So could you talk about the ISA, because there's a lot of buzz about it.
Great. So like you mentioned, I've been really investing into multiple asset classes now for a good few years. And the reason I really decided to do that is that I lost £400,000 in a scam, trusted a couple of guys. My mum lost her life savings. My wife's dad lost his pension. Friends, family members lost their money. And it was very, very painful, very, very painful. It's now turned out that it was potentially one of the biggest Ponzi schemes the UK has ever seen, £40 million. So it's not how hard you fall, it's how quick you get back up. And that was the catalyst to say, well, I'm not going to accept this anymore. So I started to hunt for some great mentors. I found a great mentor, a guy called Jeremy. He's been investing into the stock market for 20 years. He's been teaching small groups of people for 13 years. And, he took me under his wing. And he became one of my investing mentors, and he started to show me a different way of understanding money, really showed me how to take advantage of compounding returns and what that meant, and stop chasing the fast cash and be patient and have a diverse portfolio of different funds. And then earlier this year, because of the success I've had over the last couple of years doing it myself, I've decided to go out there and help people and teach people and how to do that. So one of the great starting points, DRE, is ISAs. I think ISAs are a great tool if you know what to do in the UK. A lot of people will have an ISA and they'll let Hargreaves and Lansdowne manage it for them, or they'll just have a cash ISA where they just have cash in it, but you'd be lucky if that maybe shows you 3, 4, 5%. So what you can do, and again, not giving financial advice, you can be in control of your own ISA. And if you are over the age of 18, you have an allowance of £20,000 per year. You can also set up a kids ISA, children's ISAs, £9,000 per year. And one of the smartest things that I believe you can do is maximize your tax-free ISA allowance. It's a tax-free wrapper. And if you snooze, you lose. So if you don't put it in one year, you can't put it in the next year. You have a maximum allowance. But once the money is in the ISA, any gains you make over the next 1, 5, 10, 20 years, that is all tax-free. And if you're able to pick relatively safe, secure funds, and I really like what's called ETFs, exchange traded funds. So I don't really like investing into individual companies, because individual companies, the share price could go to zero. You've only got to look at Kodak and Blockbuster and lots of other companies. So I like to invest into asset-backed funds with true intrinsic value, where could they go to zero? Well, the whole world would need to collapse, right? So things like the NASDAQ 100 or the S&P 500, but there's lots and lots of funds out there where you invest your money, and past performance can't guarantee future performance, but just some of these funds could be making you an average, 10 to 15% per year. And if you only did that every single year, maximizing your ISA allowance and allow the compounding effect to kick in 10, 20, 30 years, you and your family could be multi-millionaires.
Absolutely. And talking about Jeremy, you mentioned, obviously I had the privilege of meeting him through you. What a great guy. And the other thing is, you can tell genuine people, not pretending to be somebody else or to have the knowledge. And this guy has done it. and I'm so glad that you introduced it to the group. And he's obviously a mentor at the academy. Both himself and between himself and yourself, I think people feel they're in good hands.
Yeah.
Because again, we all work hard or invest hard or smart for money, and nobody wants to lose it. So and I see that that's the overall feeling in the academy, that you guys feel for everyone there, and you want them all to be successful. And I can see there was a time when you sent some videos and you said, well, just wait now, don't do anything, because we don't need this.
Wait for a signal.
Exactly, wait for a signal. So, and I thought, that's amazing, because a lot of other places, they teach you stuff and they say, go, 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 go. And it's very cutthroat, Wolf of Wall Street kind of thing. And I don't know about you. I know about you, but I'm not that kind of guy.
Yeah.
I like to take some risks, but at the same time, I have a family. I've got my 2 boys. I need to make sure that we are not losing money again to a scam or something like that.
Yeah, I think what I've realized now, it's about steady Eddie.
Yeah.
And having monthly compounding strategies where you can invest just a small amount of money. And these strategies that we're doing can, on average, make 3% per month. And if you just do the same thing over and over again every single month, following the rules, and allow compounding to kick in, just a few £1,000s can turn into hundreds of thousands over a relatively short period of time. So for me now, it's about building a diverse portfolio, and this is what I believe people should go and get the education on, so they can move up the wealth pyramid. Income follows assets. It's not about working harder. It's about working smarter, having a good job, having a good business, even if you don't have much money. Look, here's the thing, Dio. People say, yeah, but I don't have any spare cash. Look, if your mortgage company or your landlord put your rent or mortgage up by £150 a month, are you going to become homeless? No, you are not. You are going to stop spending your money on crap, takeaways, bottles of wine, things you don't need, designer clothes, and you are going to find £150.
Absolutely.
And if you just start your investing journey with £150, using strategies at 3% a month, you will be very successful, and you will have all the money you will ever need in your retirement. Now, depending on where you are at your age, you may need to start with a larger amount. You may need to be slightly more aggressive. And what I love about the future of money, you are in complete control. Don't worry about the banks. Don't worry about the government. The fiat currency as we know it, the pound sterling, is worthless. It's absolutely worthless, okay? Every single fiat currency that's ever existed has typically failed within 50 years. This is the longest standing one. But the countries are in trillions and trillions and trillions of pounds and dollars worth of debt. That's the reality. So at some point, things are going to change. And this has been going on for years, and politicians and new governments get in and they change this and they change that. I do think Bitcoin and digital currency of some form is the future. But between now and then, let's take advantage. Let's get what we've got. And there are, I never knew, right? Check this out. I'm an asset guy. I love to buy physical property. I never knew that you could go and own shares in a fund on the stock market where that fund owns all the real estate. It owns commercial property. And you can so rather than buying the whole commercial property, you can go and put in a few hundred or few £1,000s and you get a share of that entire fund. Wow. I never knew that you could go and invest into gold and go and buy shares in a gold fund that owns the physical asset, and you become a small owner of that fund, rather than investing into gold bars. Does this make sense?
Absolutely.
So I like assets, but you can invest into asset-backed funds in the stock market where you own a small piece of that and allow time and compounding to work its magic. So here are some things to focus in on. Yes, property investing. Yes, asset-backed funds. Yes, using your business perhaps and opening up a brokerage account and investing your business income. Having a SaaS if you're a limited company owner and investing into the right type of pension and having your pension invest into asset-backed funds. And of course, if you're here in the UK, get your ISA done every single year and just go on this journey. Just go on the journey. If I can do it, you can do it too.
And come to the academy and learn.
Come and hang out with us. Yeah,
exactly.
We're doing some stuff online right now. Come and hang out at one of our events. We run something called the Stock Market Investor Bootcamp, which is a 3-day in-person training where I'll be sharing the strategies that I've been doing over the last couple of years. All fairly safe, secure, steady Eddie stuff with rules. And you just can't really get it wrong. And once you master this, it will complement anything that you're doing. So if you are somebody that really wants to create more wealth for you and your future, then why don't you look at becoming a professional property investor where you can take advantage of the UK's #1 asset class and make passive income and also capital appreciation. So I'd invite you now to click the link in the comments or the bio and go and access my latest book called Property Success. This is where I introduce you to the 7 step-by-step system known as the Property Freedom Formula that I have used personally to do over £31 million worth of property development. So go and do that right now. I really hope you enjoy this asset, and it could be the difference that makes the difference and gets you up and running in the next 90 days.